the business we are in at LSU, providing a world-class experience for our student athletes to compete and earn their degrees.
Hello Tiger fans, I'm Emily Dixon and you're watching Inside LSU Sports presented by Community Coffee. In the spirit of the Olympics, we've got updates from the gym to the pool. We go behind the scenes as the Tigers faced off against Auburn and gold medalist Suni Lee. Then we dive into the pool with one of LSU's very own Olympians. But first, let's get things rolling with LSU Gymnastics head coach Jay Clark and Mike Smith as they recap another SEC win for the Tigers, this time in front of the second largest crowd in PMAC history.
Inside LSU Sports, presented by Community Coffee, is brought to you each week by the 8 partners that represent Team LSU. Cox, the official communications provider of LSU Athletics. McDonald's, official sponsor of the LSU Tigers. Our Lady of the Lake, official healthcare provider of LSU Athletics. Planet Fitness, official gym partner of the LSU Tigers. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of LSU Athletics. Hancock Whitney, the official bank of the LSU Tigers. People's Health, the official health plan of LSU Athletics. And by Coca-Cola, official beverage partner of the LSU Tigers. This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by Bud Light.
Hello Tiger fans, welcome once again Inside LSU Sports presented by Community Coffee. What an amazing atmosphere for LSU Gymnastics on Saturday afternoon inside of the Maravich Center. The second largest crowd in the history of the program, better than 13,500 fans, packed, standing room only in fact. Wow, created an atmosphere that your Tigers fed off of all the way through until the last landing on floor exercise was stuck. So much to talk about with head coach Jay Clark. Jay, I tell you, you can still hear that reverberation of Tiger fans from the Maravich Center there on Saturday afternoon. You were on the floor. What did you experience?
That's how it's supposed to feel in the PMAC. It brought back memories of the sellouts that we started to have, 6-7 years ago, and just the energy that comes from our fans. I'm telling you, that is as responsible for the way we finished that meet as anything else, and we depend on that. And to be able to get them back in there at that volume and that pitch, it just makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up and gives you chill bumps. And it was just such a great environment and a great meet. And hats off to Auburn because they competed well and created part of that atmosphere with us.
You know, Jay, I tell you, I'll put our student section up with any in the country. They showed out and showed up early, out in front of the Maravich Center early in the morning on Saturday to claim one of the few spots. Of course, as they hit the concourse, Raising Cane's was able to feed them and then moved them on down into their seats, and they were juiced and ready to go. A word about our great students.
Great students today. The turnout was amazing. I mean, I don't know what the number on the students was, but it looked like 1,800 that were up there. They got in there early, as you mentioned. They're bringing their Cane's boxes in, and I went over there and tried to get them going, and hopefully they'll come back every single meet because we need our students. We need our students to get out there and be crazy and have a good time with it and create sort of a Cameron Crazies for gymnastics like they have in Duke or something, and have a good time with it. And I think once they come, they get addicted to the atmosphere that we create, and they want to be back. So I really appreciate the students coming out.
You know, Jay, let's start with dessert first as we dissect this meeting. We'll go a little different than we normally do. But when you have a school record floor exercise performance like you did on Saturday afternoon, it's worth talking about right off the bat, where Christina Desiderio, that super senior, was amazing in the entire meeting.
She really was, and I've said it all week. I've been saying it to anybody who'll listen. She's never gotten the credibility, the credentials that she deserves. I mean, it's unbelievable how she sets the table for us on 2 events and the consistency with which she does so. Last week being the first meet, we had some first meet jitters on the road, but she came in today and looked like she was in mid-season form, and that was one of the best routines I've ever seen her do on floor was tonight.
Christina Desiderio with a career high. Alona Shinikova backs that up as well with a 9.925. You're really starting to hit a stride there. And it was great to see Aaliyah Finnegan for the first time on the floor, but then you build all the way through to the end with that 1-2 punch. How great to have back in the lineups today, Jay, that 1-2 punch, Haley Bryant, Kaya Johnson.
It changes the complexion of the entire competition when we can have them there. And we still got to be judicious with Kaya, and Haley is, still dealing with some foot discomfort from her injury earlier in the year. But I'll tell you what, man, once we had some great routines all the way through that floor lineup tonight. I used to call them the 2 hammers. It looks like we may have 6 or 7 hammers now on that event. And kudos to Courtney McCool-Griffith for getting them ready and having them ready to finish that meet strong, because they had to fight, and it was tied up after 3, and they had to go over there and knock it out of the park, which is exactly what they did.
49.775 for your Tigers, a school record on the event. What an amazing way to finish. Kaya Johnson for the win, walking it off in front of 13.5 plus in the Maravich Center. It just doesn't get any better than that.
No, it's magic, man. That place is magic when those fans are in there, and when our kids are feeling that rhythm. They get into that groove and start to catch a little momentum and catch fire, and whew, I'm telling you, it was fun.
Now, of course, you can't go to floor tied unless, of course, you had a successful balance beam, which the Tigers did. Rewind just a bit. You got Christina Desiderio again in that leadoff spot, and just an absolute amazing performance. Again, between her and Sammy Durante, 3 scores of 9.925 or better.
Absolutely, and again, Christina sets the table, and she settles everybody down when she's able to go out there. She's as steady a competitor as I've ever seen, and you just have to kind of get out of her way and let her do anything. You don't need to talk to her a whole lot. She knows what she needs to go do and just does it. And it's just such a good place as a coach when you know you've got somebody that just, I call it the table setter. It sets the table and really gets you off to the start, that you want. And she's unbelievable.
Well, and then the rest of your lineup there on balance beam, Jay, of course, had to take that momentum and push through, because Auburn's over on the floor and they're pushing the Tigers.
Oh my goodness, were they? I mean, Auburn is a really, really good team. They're a team that can threaten to compete for the national championship. They've got a lot of energy surrounding that program, with SUNY being a part of it, and they returned some amazing competitors in Darian Goborn and Drew, forgotten her last name.
Watson.
Drew Watson, and so they're experienced. They've got some great kids, some kids on that team that we recruited and would have loved to have had. But I'm just this conference is just a meat grinder now, and there's not a weak link anywhere.
First home performance for Aaliyah Finnegan, the first time for her to see action in the Maravich Center in that 4th spot in the beam lineup. Jay, a 9.9 for her. You see things to come that are just like that.
Oh yeah, just the little hop on the dismount was the only thing. That she was going to get a 10 if she had planted that dismount. So she's coming along. Her composure and everything is really, we're seeing a lot of growth with that. The consistency continues to increase. And she's just getting comfortable, and little by little we're going to expose her a little bit more on different events as they come along. But got her feet wet last week on beam, and we're able to do 2 tonight, so we'll see where that goes from here.
Well, the Tigers were better than 99 points in the second half of the meet. As we do a little bit of rewind after this quick timeout, we'll talk about how the Tigers started against Auburn. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back inside LSU Sports.
You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice.
And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method?
Brings out the citrus notes.
Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
Mommy, guess what? We're lit.
Hi, that's fake, mi amor. Ice cream?
Yeah!
Okay. Protect your connected devices with advanced security included with Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi.
We get it. It feels like everything has changed.
masking up, changing demands at work, fewer gatherings. But one thing hasn't changed: our commitment to your health. It's why Our Lady of the Lake Physician Group keeps finding better ways to serve you. Video visits with one of our providers, online scheduling, weekend hours, and nearly 100 locations where providers know your medical history. Our Lady of the Lake Physician Group, providing you with the best care where and when you need it.
As humankind faces its most critical challenges yet, the world demands leaders, and LSU is taking up the charge. The research we do here goes everywhere to protect communities threatened by climate change, so you can live your life with fewer worries about tomorrow. We're formulating a better way for everyone, because at LSU, our calling is humanity.
LSU Tigers fans, show your pride with real Tigers gear from the official online store, lsushop.net. You'll find everything a Tigers fan needs, including jerseys, sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, and more. With an awesome selection of over 4,100 products, including official team merchandise from Nike, when it comes to Tigers pride, there's only one place real Tigers fans go: lsushop.net.
This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by Assurance Financial. When you find the home you want to buy, choose a mortgage lender that can help you buy it. David Alello with Assurance Financial, lending the way home buyers prefer it.
Welcome back inside LSU Sports, presented by Community Coffee, talking LSU Gymnastics versus Auburn. A sold-out, standing room only crowd in the Maravich Center on Saturday afternoon. My, what an atmosphere. But you know, Jay, if we take one quick step back, this was a meet with a purpose. Every year the Tigers come together and we raise awareness for all sorts of cancers that are affecting members of our community. And it was a really special moment early in the meet to see the special Leos and t-shirts commemorating that.
Yeah, and it used to be a pink meet because we started out, a lot of people raising breast cancer awareness, and over the years we've kind of adopted the prostate and breast cancer. We did a pink and blue meet, and each member of our team has someone who's been affected by cancer in their family or friends and that kind of thing, and there's so many of them that are out there. So we just do an overall cancer awareness thing, and I think it's a great concept. We had some videos of the girls talking about who they compete for and people that have touched their lives that have been affected by cancer, and so it's something that we do on an annual basis, and I'm glad we do.
Well, it really means a lot to folks in the community, especially our season ticket holders, our supporters of the program who have had cancer fights of their own, and we look forward to having that as a fixture with our LSU Gymnastics program, as it is with many of our other sports on campus as well. But Jay, shifting our focus just for a moment back to how we started the meet, of course, at home, and it seems like it's been forever.
Yeah.
We start on vaulting, and it was an opportunity, I think, for your Tigers to try to find some momentum. Yeah. You'd been on the road, then you hadn't competed before that. Walk us through what that was like to get that momentum established.
Well, it was important, and I thought we came out pretty good on vault. There were some things that didn't go exactly the way we wanted in warm-ups. We pulled Alona out, and we put Elena in, and she got us off to a great start.
Yeah, 985.
But as we went, we were a little bit in and out with that momentum thing we were trying to grab, and then at the very last one, with Haley doing what she did on that vault, having been out for several weeks and being able to come back at that level. And I told them when they circled up after that, you just lit the match. Now let's ride this thing, so it was a good, strong start, and but we know we've got more in the tank. We know we have other vaults, we have other 10-0 vaults, we have a lot of kids who can get it done over there, and trying to create opportunities for them is going to be crucial.
And it's going to take 10-0 start value vaults as we get closer to championship portion of the season, as we inch into late March and April. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about that coming up. But you mentioned Haley Bryant being out, then back in the lineup today, going 10-0 after she hasn't seen the vault runway in quite a while. Yeah. What a special athlete.
She's a special everything. I mean, she's as special a person as she is an athlete, and she is she's just a kind-hearted, humble person, just like Kaya. They feed off each other a little bit, but just quality people through and through. Their character matches their athletic ability. And I'm telling you, I feel that way about a lot of kids on our team, but a lot of times those two are going to get a lot of the press clippings and those kinds of things just because of the dynamic stuff they do.
Well, we can talk, about Haley again on the uneven bars, because I thought she was really a turning point in the first half of the meet, because with her score, was it a precarious point in that rotation? Auburn is doing its thing over on vaulting. Haley had to really perform at a high level. That sets up Alona and Sammy, and that was magic. And I felt from that point, it was game on.
Yeah, we were tight. We got the bars, and for whatever reason, got a little tight. It's a close meet, and bars has been it's a great event for us. And the first few up, we're trying too hard, just trying to be perfect instead of just doing their routine the way that they train it. And I agree with you. I think Haley sort of settled us back down, and the back two got it done. Look, we're a team that it can come from anywhere. Legitimately, you could see on this team having the ability to go 9-9, 1 through 6 on every event. Or better, and so it's going to move around a little bit. Some weeks it might be floor like it was this one. Some meets it might be bars, it might be vault, but we're top to bottom. We're a complete team. We just got to continue to hammer out the details and move towards hitting our stride.
Jay, as we wrap up, and we'll take a quick look into next week, but I'll tell you this, kudos to your assistant coaches, Bugs Nat and Courtney McCool-Griffith. You mentioned Courtney previously, but I thought that tonight, Beam and Floor in that second half, your assistant coaches were on point.
No doubt. Garrett and I talked about it. We kind of just limped along, and the back half had to pick us up. So, but no doubt, we've got a great staff, great energy from this staff. It's nice to see things coming together.
Real quick, back on the road. Oh, there's no rest for the weary. It'll be another top 10 matchup. This one in the O'Connell Center down in Gainesville on Friday. What an opportunity for your Tigers.
It is, and we know who Florida is, and they're a super talented team year in and year out. When you look at their roster on paper, you go, how in the world are we ever going to get past those guys? But that said, I like this roster too, and I like this team, and I think we've typically gone down there and competed very well, and I anticipate we'll do that again.
Look forward to seeing you again, Jay, next week here inside LSU Sports with this focus on gymnastics. Wow, undefeated the Tigers are, and 2-0 now in the SEC. Wow.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Can't get much better.
We'll be right back after this quick timeout.
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL and America's best-selling trucks 44 years and counting.
Now is the time for new beginnings. For holding each other's hands. For encouraging each other. And for working together. At Women's, our mission is to improve the health of all women and infants. So today, we're focused on new ways to care for you and keep you safe. Because seeing you healthy and strong is important to us.
You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice.
And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method?
Brings out the citrus notes.
Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really, really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
As humankind faces its most critical challenges yet, the world demands leaders, and LSU is taking up the charge. The research we do here goes everywhere to protect communities threatened by climate change, so you can live your life with fewer worries about tomorrow. We're formulating a better way for everyone, because at LSU, our calling is humanity.
LSU Tigers fans, show your pride with real Tigers gear from the official online store, lsushop.net. You'll find everything a Tigers fan needs, including jerseys, sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, and more. With an awesome selection of over 4,100 products, including official team merchandise from Nike, when it comes to Tigers pride, there's only one place real Tigers fans go: lsushop.net.
This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by TJ Rizz, legendary Louisiana barbecue.
Haley Bryant and Kaya Johnson aren't the only Tigers in search of 10s on the scorecard. LSU junior Ann Tuscon became the first female diver to represent Norway at the Olympics in over 30 years. From competing with her sister in the pool in purple and gold to representing her home country on one of the biggest stages in the world, here's the story about how one of Norway's most decorated divers is right here on campus.
When you think of Norway and the Olympics, you probably think winter sports. LSU junior Ann Tuscon hails from Norway and is an Olympian in diving. So how did that happen? Call it the family business.
Well, it was my mom and dad who got me into diving. That's actually how my parents met, was diving. So it's a very special place in my heart, the sport diving.
Diving led her to come to the United States to continue her career and her education at LSU.
It was very impulsive. I was speaking to my aunt about it. She went to Texas Longhorns. I think she went through the whole college experience, and she was like, if you don't choose this, you're out of your mind, because it's a free education and your diving experience is just gonna explode. And I was like, okay, well, how do we start this process? I was like, who want me? And then I started just applying and sending out videos of myself to different coaches in America. And I went on a recruiting trip here, and I just fell in love with it.
Making the experience in Baton Rouge even better for Tuscon is the chance to be here with her sister.
I was kind of like pushing her to come here, because I was like, obviously I'm here, so you should come here. Like, I'm here. How would you even think of something else? But then she understood that she missed like training with me and being with me every day. And we also like have so much history together. Like, we've been through everything, all the ups, all the downs. And for me, it was kind of like, I'm going to take care of you, my little sister. And then I think she understood that that was the right choice in the end.
But while getting to compete at LSU certainly is great, there was an even bigger competition on her radar: the Olympics. And last summer, she got to represent her country as just the 17th Norwegian diver to compete in the Olympics.
She can turn it on and be a really fierce competitor. And at the same time, she's been tremendously resilient when faced with adversity. Her freshman year, she came in, she was diagnosed with acute exertional compartment syndrome, lack of a better description, shin splints on steroids. And she recovered from that and was at NC2As the next year, and then later qualified for the Olympics. So that's a pretty admirable response to some hardship.
Every athlete out there is like the Olympics. And like, I've always been like that. I've been like, little me, I'd be like, the Olympics, and like drawing like the rings on my hand like I have now, and like I got it. But then as I got older, you kind of realize like, it's actually a lot of work. Like, there's such a small percentage that makes it.
Right.
And I never thought I'd make it. Like, I wanted to, but I just didn't think I was good enough. So whenever I actually made it, it was like, it was so surreal. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I went there.
Before she even completed her first dive, she already made an even bigger splash at the Games in Tokyo by being a flag bearer for her country.
My dad, we were at practice, and he turned over to me and he was like, hey, do you want to be the flag bearer? And I was like, that's funny. And then he was like, no, I'm being for real. I was like, are you kidding me? So I was actually one of the flag bearers. Yes. So I was freaking out. And then just being asked that question was just, I was down there and I was like, everything is going my way. So it was just surreal.
Diving has certainly opened up a world of opportunities for Tuscon, and it started by following her father into diving. And she might follow his lead post-diving as she looks to go into sales just like her dad. Spend 10 minutes with the engaging Tuscon, and it's easy to see she'll be a success in that field as well. For Inside LSU Sports, I'm Paul Boron.
Stay tuned for more Inside LSU Sports after this break.
We're Dudley DeBosier. As an official partner of LSU Athletics, we love being back here on campus.
It's where we began our journey as lawyers.
And it keeps us connected to the community we pledged to serve.
This place has made a difference in so many lives across the state.
And it inspires us to do the same.
We're a law firm that cares about this community.
And that's the Dudley DeBosier difference.
Demand Dudley DeBosier, official partner of LSU Athletics. 444-4444. You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice.
And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using a Plumsky method?
Brings out the citrus notes.
Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem? Whenever packing the cooler really, really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
Mommy, guess what? We're rich.
Hi, that's fake, mi amor. Ice cream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Protect your connected devices with advanced security included with Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi.
As humankind faces its most critical challenges yet, the world demands leaders, and LSU is taking up the charge. The research we do here goes everywhere to protect communities threatened by climate change, so you can live your life with fewer worries about tomorrow. We're formulating a better way for everyone, because at LSU, our calling is humanity.
When you support, she soars. When you donate, he delivers. When you provide, they prevail. Since 1987, TAF members have lifted the minds, bodies, and spirits of LSU student athletes, making sure they have what they need to succeed in competition, the classroom, and in life. When you give, they go.
This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by Our Lady of the Lake Children's Health, one of Louisiana's largest pediatric healthcare networks.
That's it for this week's show, but we are not slowing down here on LSU's campus. With winter sports in full swing and baseball and softball right around the corner, we've got you covered with all the sights and sounds from Alex Box to Tiger Park. I'm Emily Dixon, and as always, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Inside LSU Sports presented by Community Coffee. We'll see you next week.
This is the business we are in at LSU, providing a world-class experience for our student athletes to compete and earn their degrees.